Present.
Here.
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 Great, thank you. At this time, I'd like to have the list of excusing any absent members from the last meeting. This week, that's.
Are you
Maybe-
asking who's
oh,
absent today?
yep. Well, we need a motion on excusing the absent members today.
No, we gotta look at- just right now, Ruben Solis.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we excuse those members absent.
I second.
that, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All in
Have
favor?
a motion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll go ahead and get started with the public hearing, and we'll have our director lead us into that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening. Again, my name is Raul Garza. I'm your Grants Management Community Development Director. I'd like to welcome you all this evening, taking the time out from your busy schedules to join us this evening. Again, with CDBG, which is an integral part of my department, we go through a lot of hoops and a lot of regulations and a lot of processes to take advantage of the monies that they provide us. And right now, the first agenda item is first public hearing, citizen participation on the development of the city's action plan for 2020 for housing and urban development. So as you know, we get funded by CDBG every year. We average about $1.1 million. And in doing so, we have to go out to the public and let them know, hey, guys, you know, while we're working this year, we're already planning for next year. And in doing so, we have to let the public know that we're out here again. We're in the process of getting more funding for the new fiscal year, which is 2021, basically, because it goes from October 1st to September 30th. And in there, we have to put out notices to the public and let them know that HUD is going to be funding us for their objectives that they have in mind. Their objectives that HUD provides for us is promotion of diversity and vitality of neighborhoods, elimination of slums and blight, elimination of conditions detrimental to health, safety, and public welfare, enhancing, improving, and expansion of the housing stock, reduction of income group isolation within communities, and enhancing economic development opportunities, principally to low-income individuals. We gave you a handout on that just to kind of refresh your memory of how we go about the process. So this is required by HUD that we post it out here, do a public hearing, just in case our community wants to come out. We'll do more hearings and let them voice their opinion. Then the people will start submitting their applications, and we'll start processing them and do more public hearings that notice. So this is just basically the first step for the first new year, for the next subsequent year, while we're still managing this current fiscal year called 2019. And so this is basically, this agenda item is just to fulfill that requirement. We'll have until August the 15th to submit the action plan for 2020 to HUD of this year coming. So we're gonna work through the summer and get everything squared away, get our money, get our people who want to do, reapply from the sub-recipients, which are nonprofit agencies. One of the things that we're gonna emphasize this year is gonna try to get a little bit more of in-house City of Pharr projects that fall within the requirements to help out our own community and help our departments, our city departments with some of their projects. So we're gonna concentrate on this. One of them, for example, is in South Pharr is the Wi-Fi situation. It's something that qualifies under CDBG because of it meets all the requirements. And so it's being funded by CDBG, by the general fund of the city of Pharr. And if we're gonna look at it, we're gonna see it will fall within our purview. So we're gonna see if we can help them with some of those monies, and it goes to a good cause, and it's wonderful for the children of the South Pharr. Okay, so with that, I'll ask if there are any questions with regard to our process or any questions with regard to the funding or anything at the moment.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What is the possibility of partnering with another organization for that Wi-Fi opportunity, or is it just strictly
It's,
CBDG monies that would help that?
this is basically CDBG monies. Well, this project was started, I think, by our mayor, Ambrosio Hernandez, about 3 years ago. I think it was in his thought process. And I think came into fruition maybe a year or two ago, where we provide Wi-Fi services to households that, for PSJ students, or Pharr students, basically, that don't have access to Wi-Fi and can't get ahead in their homework, can't get ahead in their studies because they're limited, because the households cannot afford internet services, things of that nature. So that became a brainchild of the mayors, and we put into fruition through the City of Pharr general coffers. And now at this point in time, we're seeing if we can come in and, belly up a little bit, so to speak, and see if we can be of some assistance to our citizens in the South Pharr. So it'll be CDBG partnering with a city. Okay?
Thank you.
I was gonna ask, is there like applications that they have to fill out, like per household members, or how does that work?
What'll happen is basically when the nonprofits apply, they have their process, and they have to fulfill some reporting requirements. And so that will keep them in compliance as far as us knowing that they are within the HUD guidelines. The same thing will happen here. We'll have an in-house application from the city, and then we'll tell them at this point in time, okay, in order for this thing to be legit with HUD, you guys need to go out there and make sure that the household you're targeting or being serviced fall into the HUD requirements, which is low income, all this good stuff. So yeah, we will be getting our stats from the whatever department is utilizing those funds to make sure we're in compliance. And then HUD come back, and if they want to check us, boom, here it is, we're good. So, yes, good question, actually.
Any other questions?
Great.
All right, thank you.
We'll continue to proceed with the second one. B?
Okay. Next, we move on to the notice of public funding availability for program year 2020.
Okay, folks, again, HUD asked us to be anticipatory of what we're gonna be doing for the next year. That's why we're doing the 2020. And they asked us to start thinking about how much money we're gonna be using. Well, HUD doesn't allocate their monies till way later. So they say, okay, since we don't know how much we're gonna give you, plan on using what we gave you this past year to plan for how much you're gonna spend. Administrative, the nonprofit agencies, and then, like, say, the departments. This is what your budget is until we tell you what it officially is. So it'll vary with us, with HUD, very minute. We're usually in the 1.1, 1.9, 1.3, 1.7. It doesn't vary that much. So because we don't have that finite number, we are able to use a number from this past year, which is 2019. It's just what they ask us to do, but again, we have to make it public to our citizens as well. So, and at this point in time, we're going with the 2019 budget, right? Our allocation, which is 1.1. Okay, 1,115,390. So that's the number that we were set for last year. We're using that to project where we're going to be in 2020. Okay. Yes, sir.
HUD decide how much to fund.
Yes.
How do they decide?
It's a complicated formula. They use all sorts of gyrations, and there's so much information to take into account to come up with this allocation. Do you have any more in-depth detail on that? You might have.
Yeah, it's based also on household units, on the housing, population, housing units, and number of, believe it or not, abandoned vacant homes, and also the medium income for that particular city. So they get all that together, and so usually bigger cities with bigger populations will get more funding because there's more need for cities that are bigger. The smaller cities with the less populations get less.
That's why it's important we get a good census.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. So we're hoping. I don't know if with the census change, maybe it'll help us or hurt us.
5 years later,
Yeah, but for now, I think, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so, anyway, that's what we have for as far as action, or agenda items. Yeah, now we can go into administrative.
Okay. Do we have any announcements from administration, from the secretary? heard the CBDG department.
Yeah, well, I'll take, we kind of set that up. Just a real quick FYI, we have our CDBG week coming up, April the 12th to the 17th. What we're gonna do is we'll have a resolution here in front of the city council. And then we'll set up, we'd like to do a little, it'll be different this year. Yeah, we'll have a CDBG day where we set up all our shops, all our nonprofits come in, set up little tables, and let our community come in and talk to them. However, it just dawned on me that we'll be under construction downstairs for the whole first floor. So all our walk-in traffic will be rerouted. So we're gonna have to kind of come back and revisit that, right? Yeah, so we may do a little, maybe some sort of little afternoon deal or something.
Reception or
At a park or something like that. So we'll revisit that. Normally we do it downstairs and we have all the walk-through traffic, sit and visit with them. It works out really, really well, and it's very convenient because they walk up. But now it's gonna be a little bit more difficult because our first floor is all gonna be taken and done away with here in the next, I think, month or so. So it'll be all completely under reconstruction. So
Wow.
anyway, on another note, Mr. Solis has decided to resign. He says he's up in age and he's tired and, getting back and forth, it's becomes a little bit more difficult for him. So he's gonna tender his letter of retirement/resignation, and we look forward to honoring him by providing him a plaque and maybe a cake or something, and then move forward to filling his position. So just an FYI on that. And then the last thing that we have on hand is the Hub Fest that's coming up April the 4th, our great Hub Fest. It looks to be even bigger and better than years before. As you notice, we've changed the way we look. We have a park on each side of us. So geographically, we're working some things to where we can make it a little bit easier for our folks to get up and down. It'll be mostly linear, which will be from 83, all the way to, how far are they gonna
We
go?
don't know, it's gonna extend all the way maybe to San Houston.
Yes, and they're gonna have some great bands. Who's the lead?
The main one right now is not announced, but we're looking at the band Perry.
The band Perry.
Mark Chester.
I don't know much about country western,
Country.
but supposedly there's some really, they're going all out on some really, really good bands. And then Santiago is gonna be in charge of our Nature Day. He's working on, we're gonna have a section over here behind the drive-through, and he's gonna be bringing in some the same thing as last year, nature type exhibits. And so it should be pretty nice. We're looking forward to a great time. This park should be ready. We should have vendor trucks over here servicing the community. And then we're gonna have other food vendors as well. And just should be a great old time for the community. Hopefully the weather will be good, and we hope everybody out there. Anything that comes before us where we can, give you some good, whether they give us some special situations for our councils, we'll let you know so that, you can join us. If we can get anything for you, we'll certainly look at that. So feel free to ask us, though, on anything that's coming down. Hey, if you have a question, let us know, and we'll help you with that. But it should be a great Hub Fest time. So, anything else, guys, from your standpoint? Questions from the panel, the board, council?
We look forward to hearing back about the CBDG Day. And
Yes.
just thank you so much for all your efforts and support. And if we don't have anything else, we'll go ahead and move to adjourn this meeting.
Excellent.
Second.
All right, have a motion? Have a second? All right. Motion carries, meeting adjourned at
Folks, and thank you very much for
6:14.
coming out. I know our meetings are short, but they're really required by HUD. And